What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I'm your host today, Jared Timms, and I am joined alongside my co-hosts, my partners in crime, Brock Davis and Nate Green. Brock, welcome back. Good to see you. Got the show face going there too, man.
Oh yeah.
YouTube, huh? Yeah, how you been
Oh
doing?
yeah. It's been good, man. I've been gone for a while, but life's been busy. Bought a house, got a puppy. Still enjoying the honeymoon phase. Got married in May, as most everyone knows by now. But yeah, it's been busy, and I'm ready to talk baseball and get back rolling into this, and hopefully
Absolutely.
welcomed back with open arms.
Yes, welcome back. We're excited to have you. I know everybody is excited to have another voice on here. Especially with all everybody we have going on here, we should be able to get multiple podcasts out per week. And I'm excited, like you said, just talk baseball. That's all we want to do is just talk a little bit of baseball, Angels baseball, but baseball in general. Nate, I didn't forget about you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Good to see you, Jared.
Good
to see you too, Brock. Yep. Everyone, good to see you guys. Ready to go.
Not a lot to talk about. Just kidding. I almost made us record two last week or last night because of how much we have to talk about. None of these guys know what we're talking about, so this is just going to be flying off the seat of our pants. I'm excited to do it. But before we get going, guys, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you could subscribe wherever you guys are listening or watching on YouTube as well, where we just hit our 500th subscribers. Super excited about that. Somebody even said that they were the 500 subscriber. Shout out to that person. I don't know who it was. I apologize when you're watching this, but thank you for that. Thank you for 500 subscribers. We really appreciate it. We're going to keep crushing out this content for you guys. As always, you can follow myself on Twitter, Jared_Timms, Brock at BDROX8.
8. Yeah, nailed it.
Still got it. And Nate at Nate Green 34. Always, guys, subscribe to all of our social media as well. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Talking Halos, TalkingHalos.com as well. So let's go ahead and get it rolling here. Had a question of the day to start it off with. I'm going to throw Brock in the hot seat first since he's back. Brock, who's the opening day starting shortstop for the Angels?
Oh boy. I mean, it's so hard to say. I feel like everybody seems so left in the dark right now, or feels left in the dark right now, as far as, all of our Twitter family, right? Like they're just scrolling through Twitter, they're updating, they're looking at all these pages, they're looking at Lyon in Texas, and they're just trying to figure out who's going to be our opening day shortstop. And I'll tell you right now, I'm just as much as left in the dark as anyone else. But if I had a wish, it would be Correa. But do I see it being realistic? I don't know. The payroll's already creeping up there. If I'm not mistaken, we're projected to be at 219. Am I correct?
I think it's a little bit under that. I think 190, 195. We'll round it off at an even 195. I think it's in that area. Probably in between.
That's with ARB though.
Something.
Yeah,
for the luxury tax.
190. Yeah, in that area. Without ARB. Without knowing.
Gotcha. I thought I saw something that we were close to that 215 mark, but either way, it's, Manassian's come out and said that he doesn't have a cap, right? There's no limitation. So we'll see whether or not that's truthful. I mean, it's really going to depend on the sale of the team. There's so many factors right now that I think plays into the Angels signing a shortstop, and that doesn't even include the factors of whether or not either one of the big two shortstops want to come to Anaheim. So my wish is Correa. Trades, I don't even want to go down that route. I think it's more realistic that we get Dansby over Correa. But man, opening day shortstop. I'm going to say Dansby Swanson.
Like it. I like it. I'm not against it. Nate, what do you got?
I just love pissing you off. So it's 100% going to be Dave Fletcher. Dave Fletcher's going to open the year starting shortstop, and we're playing Oakland. So that means you're probably looking at Cole Irvin making the start instead of Livan Soto. Probably getting David Fletcher at shortstop, Luis Rengifo at second. Gio Urshela probably starts at first, and Jared has a fantastic opening day.
I appreciate it. Really do. So we got David Fletcher, we got Dansby Swanson. I'm going to go the trade route since you guys went the free agent route, the internal route. I'll say a name that probably hasn't been thrown out there too much, Raul Mondesi. Just kidding. Alberto Mondesi. See what I did there?
Yes.
I had Raul in my head for some reason. Alberto Mondesi. I don't know why. The name just kind of sticks out there for me. I know he hasn't been healthy or anything like that. as of late, but he's a shortstop. He can play shortstop. He can pick it like Nate wants. He can swing it a little bit, at least the league average. So anything is an upgrade from what the Angels had last year, except for Nate's rep. So then it's the exact same thing. Though they can only get better. If you stay healthy, you can only get better, right?
No.
Yes, you can. All right.
No. We've seen Andrew Velasquez start, and Andrew Velasquez was healthy, and it was not better.
Andrew Velasquez was also the worst hitting shortstop in baseball. So you got to get better than Andrew Velasquez. If Velasquez starts in AAA, it's okay.
You hope
You hope he does.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. All right, so 3 different opinions here. Let's go ahead and get on to some Angels news here. New third base coach Bill Hasselman. I don't think we really need to talk too much about that, but we do got to point it out.
Yep.
Rule 5 draft. Nobody was taken on the MLB side for the Angels. Nobody was taken from the Angels as well either. Taken by the Angels, taken from the Angels. Minor league Rule 5 draft. The Angels lost Zach Lingenfelter to the Phillies. Relief pitcher down in AA, mid-90s, good curveball. Nothing too special, but again, some depth down there. You never know what he's going to be. Is with the Phillies. Had a fantastic career with the Angels. Angels picked up, let's see if I get it right, Ronaldo Flores, catcher from the Giants. Jared Oliva, outfielder from the Pirates. Riley Unroe, I think is how you say his name. It could be something different. I apologize if I said it wrong. Infielder from, I forgot where they got him from. He was an Angel before, played on the Mobile Bay Bears, also played on the Salt Lake Bees. And then finally, the Angels got Willian Diaz, pitcher from the Giants, mid upper 90s slider. We'll see what they can turn him into if they can make that secondary out pitch. I think he struck out Suarez, not Diaz. Willian. I was thinking of Williams.
I was like, wait a minute.
Suarez. And I'm doing it off the top of my head. All right.
That's
Willian Suarez, like I said, mid to upper 90s fastball, slider in the works. We'll see what the Angels can do with him. Struck out 91 guys in 40 innings. So there is the upside there. Let's get on to Major League news here. We heard, and this is something we can maybe talk about a little bit here. Kodai Senga signed. I think the Angels were kind of in on that. 15 a year. I think we were a little bit surprised on that. Nate, I'll go to you because I know you've texted me 18,000 times that you were surprised at 15 million a year. So I think you want to talk about it.
Well, it is surprising 15 million. Honestly, for what we've seen in this free agent market, 15 million is a steal for a guy that could be a frontline guy. Especially with, you saw Tyler Anderson, we had to give up a draft pick on top of $13.3 million for him. So I had to throw that in there for you. But yeah, interesting, especially you had Carlos Rodon out there saying, I want 5, 6, 7 years. I want 25 million. You've got Verlander making a lot of money. You got DeGrom getting 37. Like, these numbers are very high, and you're looking at a guy who could easily be an ace on a lot of teams. And I know he wants to win, so that's going to change the market a little bit, but I could have easily seen the Dodgers just saying, you know what, here's 20 million, here's 4 years, and we'll be done with it. And he's, part of their ridiculous starting rotation that they run out there every year. But I was shocked. 15 million seems very, very light, and everyone wants to automatically say, oh, Mets got Senga, so that means they're getting Ohtani. And I don't think that's the case. I don't think that Senga brings Ohtani. I think if Ohtani and Senga wanted to play together, then Senga probably would have started his major league career with the Angels and then gone from there. But yeah, it is interesting to see that there were so many teams in on him. There are a lot of teams desperate for pitching. Pitching is the number one need for every single team out there. The Red Sox need pitching. The Yankees need pitching. The Twins need pitching. The Giants, like the Dodgers. You could go through all these teams, and they all will tell you starting pitching is a need. And 15 million for, and again, it goes to the Mets, which is like, how do they win the bidding war at only $15 million?
So the way that I look at it, and probably not the best way to look at it, it's mid upper 90s with a splitter. You're guaranteed Tommy John there. It's going to happen. Everybody, if he doesn't have Tommy John, that's fantastic. More power to him. I think he ends up having Tommy John. I never wish it upon somebody, but that's where I stand with Kodai Senga. I think 15 a year for somebody who's never pitched at the major league level makes a lot of sense. Granted, he's pitched in Japan, so there's that, and we know the stuff is going to play up it's very similar to Otani's, and dude, he could come over and be one of the best pitchers in baseball. Who actually knows until next year? So it'll be really interesting. Brock, you got anything you want to add on to the Senga Senga competition or conversation? Wow.
I'm not surprised he signed with the Mets. When I saw the news break, I wasn't surprised it was the Mets, but the number was surprising, and I think that's kind of where everybody's sitting at is okay, yeah, makes sense because they kept talking about how he wanted to go to a winner, and with the way that Cohen is spending, it's like, well, clearly they want to win, and it seems like it's just the beginning with him. But the only thing that raises a question with me is good for them for getting him at that number. And I've seen his name floated around, but it's surprising to me. Like they're not going to run a 7-man rotation, and they already have 6 solid-ish guys. It depends on how you consider solid. Because Jose Quintana, I don't think he can be leaned on. He had a really good year last year, but we all saw how he pitched in Anaheim. But they already got Verlander, Scherzer, Senga, Quintana, Carrasco, and David Peterson now. And that doesn't include the last guy whose name's been floated around, Tyler McGill, who definitely has upside for sure. So I think the Mets are they're going to be solid, man. But they win 101 games last year.
Yep.
Yeah. So 101 games, you add Senga. I mean, they're solid. And Cohen, you're a billionaire owner, a huge billionaire owner. That's honestly with a sport with no cap. That's how it should be. Honestly, you have the ability to spend. You're going to spend. You should spend. You should spend to win. And if that's going to be the case in baseball without a cap or anything like that, then good for them. And I think he just really wanted to go to a winner. And clearly Cohen is proving to every other owner, agent, and player, I'm going to spend until I get a freaking championship.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the Mets, what they're doing has a lot of implications on a lot of things. And I'm intrigued to know what MLB is going to do about this, because if this happens, what's going to stop other owners from doing this after they buy a team? You know, like if they really want it.
I saw a thing that said that the Mets tax penalties are going to be more than the A's payroll.
Half the team's payroll in the MLB.
Half the team's payroll. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So it has a lot of implications. They're deep. That's exactly what you want. And they won 101 games last year. So they're going to be right back in that again. I can't say that they've gotten better this offseason, but they're definitely deeper. And I know, Nate, you're laughing at me. I don't know if they've really gotten better, but they're going to come back and still win 100 and whatever games. And it's like the Dodgers, they're going to continue to compete and continue to be good.
Did Nemo sign back with them? I can't remember. I know he signed.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was his AAV?
20.
Yep. Yeah. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens. More in the news here. The Angels are finalists on Wilson Contreras. This is really surprising, I think, to a lot of us. Nate, I know you have a good explanation for it. I found it surprising that first off, the Angels are going to go spend on a catcher. I know the Angels, I wouldn't say they're deep there, but they do have, Max Stassi and Logan O'Hoppe in the reins, and that's who it looks like they're going to roll out with on opening day. But Nate, I'm going to steal your thunder here on this one. To sign somebody for $15 million a year that is going to improve that position, it's not a bad thing. Then you're able to put O'Hoppe down in AAA or start with Stassi or trade Stassi, should I say. We'll kind of see how that rolls. I don't know if the Angels are going to really go out there and push for another catcher anymore, but at least it's, I think, now in the radar. I think it's still on people's radar that they're going to go maybe push for a catcher of sorts. You have to go get one more catcher at a minor league.
Not at a major league deal. Like I don't think they're going to be in the Christian Vasquez market or the Omar Narvaez market or anyone like that. I think if you're looking at it, they're probably going to go get a minor league deal, maybe a Robinson Chirinos type of guy, Roberto Perez, who might take something close to a minor league deal or even a minor league deal. I don't think they're going to be in that Vasquez market, though. I think that when you're looking at what the Angels need to get better offensively. We talked about it last year. There's about 2, maybe 3 guys in the lineup for the most part that were hitting at any given time. I mean, Ward started off good. Otani was fine. And then as the season started going, Ward struggled. You had Rengifo kind of step up. Walsh was not good. Stassi was not good. Whoever we put at shortstop was not good. Rendon went down early. Like the offense was very, very lackluster last year. It was very bad. And so I think that if you're going to be able to pay $15 million to get this lineup deeper and to get it better, it was worth it. And who knows, maybe Ohapi becomes a trade potential where it's like, hey, we've heard from this potential team. We've heard from the Brewers. We really like Willy Adames. And, the number one guy they wanted to start talks with was Logan Ohapi, and we didn't want to do it. Or, we wanted to talk with the Tigers, and that was the number one guy they want to talk with. It just changes so many things where it allows the Angels to kind of become deep at a position rather than like, oh, well, we're just hoping we're good at the position instead of like we know for sure we're good. So I didn't find it that confusing, but I did think that they could use that money a little better is what I think. But you got to look at every avenue to make this lineup better, especially since Logan Ohapi got 15 ABs last year. We saw Max Stassi before 2 years ago was a WRC plus in like the 30s or 40s. So like he has not traditionally been a good hitter. He had 1.5 good years, and one of them was 2020, which you throw those numbers out. So yeah, the catching position for the Angels is not on lock. Like they do have question marks back there, and one of them is, can the young kid who has shown signs that he's going to be really good, he's been pretty good. He came over in July in AA and had to learn a whole new pitching staff, and that pitching staff is very good. So it's not like he was working with guys who aren't good and don't throw hard with good stuff. So, but can he call pitches for Ohtani to be successful? Can he be good with a Reed Detmers? Can he be good with Patrick Sandoval? Like if he can do that, then we're going to be fine back there. But we have to see it. We can't just write it in pen and hope that it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then last but not least, it sounds like the Angels have been in on Seth Lugo and Michael Lorenzen. It sounds like that's probably going to be where they push towards pitching, but I guess you never know who they were really going to be in on. I think they're still one pitcher away. So, Brock, do you have a preference between Michael Lorenzen or Seth Lugo? Both very similar pitchers, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have I'm not going to lose sleep over it, if that makes sense. Like I've definitely been in bed certain nights thinking about who the Angels are going to sign for shortstop, but I'm pretty content. We finished 6th in starting ERA last year, I think is what it was, 6th, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, honestly, I kind of like the hometown culture type things, right? Like the Angels have always kind of had like this hometown culture vibe. And so just for that reason alone, I liked Lorenzen. I liked what he brought to the table. I think he surprised a lot of people. I liked his energy. I think he fit in really well to the team, and he seemed well liked by the club. And I think that he can bring, if he was on a winning club, which clearly we have not been, and we weren't last year. I think if he's on a winning club, he can definitely bring some more, what's the word I'm looking for? Not like raspy, but like, I can't think of the word I'm thinking of, but just a bigger energy that we desperately needed last year. But it's hard to bring that energy when your team is playing like trash.
Yeah, 100%. And it doesn't help when you get hurt. And I like both of them too. I'm going to be honest. I like Lorenzen with the 3 pitches that go every other direction, and then you have the high spin of Seth Lugo on the curveball. And I think they're both very similar. I think you're going to get very similar production from both of them. So, guys, before I let everybody go, any final thoughts? Brock, I'll start with you.
No, not really. I'm eager and kind of anxious to see what the plan is, where we go, how much more money we're going to spend, where we can allocate it. I think we got to steal with Tyler Anderson. I think so far Perry's done a very good job with not overspending on a deal yet, in my opinion, which is something that the Angels have definitely done in the past. And kind of to touch on what Nate was talking about earlier is I think one of the biggest things the Angels have made mistakes on is leaning too much on one guy to fulfill a position throughout a whole year, right? Staying healthy and being dependable. And so that's kind of why I like Dansby, right? He plays a lot of games. He stays healthy for a long period of time. He plays a lot of games, and he should be good for you. Correa's had some health issues. That's really the only concern with him. Obviously, Correa is a better player than Dansby, but the health is where Swanson kind of beats out Correa with the health. But yeah, it's just a bunch of question marks in my head going around, and we'll just have to see. I mean, it's hard to tell how this year's going to go until, a week before opening day, and we see what's up.
Not the biggest, not the best players, but the right players. I think we've been preaching that for quite some time. So it's good to see Perry going out there and doing it. So Nate, what do you got for me?
Let's just wait till opening day. Let's stop with the projections on where the Angels are going to be. Let's just see. Project. No, I know, but the game's not played on paper, and there's a reason for that, because the teams who spend the most money, the teams who put the best overalls, if you're playing MLB The Show or whatever, those teams would always win. That's not how this game works. We've seen it for years. So let's just wait and find out where we're at, because anything could happen. The Angels could have the Rookie of the Year. They could have, Logan O'Hoppe could win Rookie of the Year. They could have one of the best pitchers in baseball with Patrick Sandoval. It could be Reed Detmers. Like they've got some question marks that are going to be answered. So let's just wait and see.
Rendon pops off for an MVP.
Yeah, exactly. There's just so many question marks that you just gotta wait and see with this team, and it's not going to be finished until opening day. And even if they go out and get a shortstop, it's still not going to be finished until opening day, because you got guys like Jose Soriano and others that are going to be fighting for a bullpen spot. And that's going to be the big issue this year, is can the pitching stay healthy? Because I think everyone says the Angels were really good on the mound last year, which they were, especially in the starting rotation. Angels were one of the most healthiest teams in the starting rotation last year. And I think that was a big reason why. And it's tough to count on that. It is really tough. That is why the Mets and Dodgers always have 8, 9, 10 pitchers ready to go. And the Angels aren't quite there yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, we're going to say this going up to opening day. A lot of question marks. I mean, Anthony Rendon could be comeback player of the year. You possibly have MVP in center field. You possibly have the Cy Young pitching. You possibly have the MVP pitching. You possibly have one of the best duos in baseball at the starting pitching position. So it's interesting. It's a lot of fun. Nate, I'm never gonna not look at the possibility of what could go on or what goes on paper. That's too much fun to do during the off season, especially what the Mets and the Padres are doing, and it's just too much to do that. It's too much fun to not do that. So guys, as always, thank you so much for listening to this podcast or watching us on YouTube. Again, subscribe wherever you are listening. You can follow us on all of our social medias. You can look us up. Just go ahead and check us out, talkinghalos.com. You can follow myself on Twitter, Jared_Tim's, Nate at NateGreen34, Brock at BDROX8. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great rest of your day.